decided to pull out my Mont liquid acrylic inks. Again, I love these things. I always thought that I would like this sort of product, but I've just never taken the plunge because of the expense of it. But because these are cheaper for Aussies, I don't know if you can get these anywhere else, but I know you can get them online. So yeah, these things are great. It's an affordable medium. I think they were only like $30. I think it was $35. So, and because I bought a couple of other things at the same time, I actually got free shipping. So that was really good. Now, what am I making? To be honest, I just wanted to have a play with the colors that are not necessarily in the rainbow. I wanted to use colors that were, secondary colors. I wanted to play with some browns and some neutrals, and because the photo is actually quite funny, it's Jennifer being serious, and she was literally giving me the seriously look. So I thought that's perfect for this layout, and it gave me a little bit of free reign when it came to playing with just a different concept, a different idea. So that's what I'm trying to do this week. I'm trying to do layouts that get you thinking about not so much say truck, see truck. I want it to be more looking at your photos and just picking something that would work. So in this instance, she was giving me the look, and it was seriously, really. So that's what I ran with. Just the title and the photo. That's it. That's all I need in this story. And it gave me free reign to just jump in and create something that I wouldn't normally create, do something a little bit different. So, and it gave me the opportunity to play with some different mediums. Now, I did crack out my Spellbinders Platinum die cutting machine. I love this thing. I really do. I'm moving it around because it doesn't normally move around this much, but I've just put a new plastic mat on top of my grid mat, and I do have a non-slip mat underneath my pink mat, so it doesn't move around on me because I like it to stay in frame. That's one of the things that I have, some quirky things that I do, guys. Trust me, there's certain things that just in a normal craft room you would go, why on earth would you have that there? But in a content creators room, it makes complete sense. Just saying. So what I decided to do was pull out a die. Now, these dies I bought eons ago. I've got a couple of different Snap-Lock bags, and they've got different dies. I bought them for they were like $2.50, and they were on Amazon, and it was free delivery. So I just bought I think it was 10 different packets. I've got stitched circles, I've got hearts, I've got tags, I've got banners, I've got thin banners, I've got ovals, I've got flags, I've got all different things. And I thought, you know what, this could be where I could pull out one of those, because I don't use them enough. I use my Cricut all the time, but I don't show quite as much love towards my die cutting machine. And I have to say, I absolutely love this machine. I did put off getting it for the longest time because dies were just so expensive. And for the big companies that produce, I bought, and I've told you guys this before, I actually bought, I should mention, I cut the word seriously on my Cricut, and then, so that's how I got the hollowed out title. You probably saw that at the beginning, but I forgot to mention it. So the big companies, they create obviously big stencils, beautiful stencils, all of that. And I know they've got a lot of overheads and all that sort of thing. And I love to support local where I can. I love to support Aussie businesses. I purchase from different businesses because I like to keep things fresh. I like to look around for different things, and this is one of the reasons behind backing off the design team work, because I felt like I wasn't able to spread the love to everybody. I want to sprinkle it around a little bit here and a little bit there. That's what I want to do. And with this particular layout, I wanted to use a different medium. And this is me just playing on a piece of just plain white cardstock. I wanted to see how well these colors all mix together, and do they just turn to mud, or do they actually mix quite well? And I was pleasantly surprised. They actually mix really, really well. Now, I do not have any water in my little paint palette there. I don't have any water in it. So these colors that are going down are pure. I could have quite easily just used the dropper from the bottle, I'm sure, but then I would have squeezed out too much and I would have wasted it. And so all I'm doing is I sort of chose halfway across the page. I sort of divided it roughly in half. I only have one photo, so I was able to just I love going to town and just making layouts from scratch. And I know a lot of people get daunted by a blank white sheet and they don't know where to start. I'm actually the opposite. I look at a white sheet and go, the possibilities, they're endless. When you start with a blank white or a blank black, you can go to town. It's amazing the amount of stuff that you can do with it. So I wanted to do something where I could keep these colors solid, like quite solid, and I didn't really want them running off the bottom of my cardstock. So I'm lifting it up to getting them to run, and without adding water or anything like that to it, because I need the viscosity of the liquid acrylic ink for it to have resistance against I'm getting all sciencey on you now, I apologize, but you need the viscosity there to get it to run, but you also need enough drag from the paper to get it to stop. So that works for me. I really, really like where this went. I love these colors. I'll do something different with it next time, but I absolutely love these colors, these earthy tones. They looked so pretty. And I was trying not to get the lines to sort of run into each other. I was trying to get them to literally run beside or in between one another. And I did get one there that went really wonky donkey. And I did dry it off in between applying a little bit more. And I wanted to go, I squeezed way too much red out there, by the way. I wanted to go and see if I could do a little bit more of a reddy brown. So it's the color that I used was burnt umber, but I wanted it to be maybe a bit more reddy brown, because Jen's shirt in the photo is red, and it's red, but it's not fire-inching red. It's going towards a maroon red. It's not bright red. So I wanted to try and bring in a little bit of that color somewhere, but not make it look like blood. So I had to add just the right amount of brown and just a tiny bit of red, and the colors were perfect. I love them. So the trick definitely was, it was very handy to dry them in between lines. And I think if you wanted to do these probably more straighter, I think it would make sense to do that. I did consider at this point to spray it, or actually just before I dried them, I was going to just spritz it with some water and see what happened. But then I figured it would probably just all turn to mud. So I didn't end up doing that. And yeah, so I'm really, really happy with how this layout turned out. Now, I am doing all this week, I mean, if you're watching this in the future, it won't matter about this week. But this week I'm trying to do layouts that are, I've just dried that off, by the way. I stopped it and started it because you don't need to see me drying it off. So I just want to do things that are a little bit more textural, give you ideas with different things. So this is my Kmart glitter paper that I got on the weekend. It is so good. It's actually called ANKO Gold Metallic Glitter Cardstock. That's what it's called. It's $5 and it's really good. The glitter doesn't come off it, so it's fantastic. So if you're an Australian, get you some of that. Okay, I just need to... I tell you what, guys, I have said a couple of statements in the last 2 or 3 videos. You guys will know what I've been watching on TV because I've just found myself saying it. If you don't know, Richard Rawlings. There you go. Gas monkey. There you go. So, sorry, I needed a mouthful of drink. It's first thing in the morning and I've been up since 4 a.m. I have no clue why, but I've definitely hit the ground running and I've got so much work done and it's only 8:47 in the morning. I love it. Okay, I ditched the tape runner. I don't even know why I was trying to use it, and I switched over to my glue. And then I decided these little guys need ribbon through their tags. But I didn't want to use ribbon because the last video I did, I used a heap of ribbons and textures and all that sort of stuff. So this one I wanted to make it more about the inks and just kind of, yeah, I wanted to sort of play with it. Now, at this point, I felt like it was, the word seriously definitely gave me the divide that I wanted. And you can see here, all I'm doing is folding I've got a thin strip, wide enough to fit through the slot that the die created for me. And I'm just feeding it through and folding it in half. And then I'm re-gluing another piece of glitter. So what's facing the front is 2 strips of glitter. And it looks like a tag. So it looks like, you know, the ribbon sticking out of the tag. But it's just the gold glitter. And it's just an offcut. So that worked perfectly. Now, I was watching this and I did think to myself, as I was doing this little bit here and putting these bits of ribbon through, I thought, that top, it just looks too white. It's a bit sparse. Sparse, I think, is the word we use all the time, isn't it? So while I was doing this, my brain was ticking over. What would you have done on the top half of this layout? Let me know below if you're still with me. I hope you're still with me. Let me know, what would you have done on the top? Would you have done something like this on the bottom? Is there, you know, I do end up doing something with it, but let me know what you would have done and see if it's, you know, see if we think the same way. You never know. So at this point, I'm getting very nervous because I've got that tub of that tray of liquid ink still sitting there. And I'm really nervous that my clunk, I'm going to put my scissors in it or something and flick it everywhere and completely destroy the layout. And then that would have just thrown my mojo off completely for the day. But I didn't make a mess. Spoiler alert, I didn't make a mess. It's all good. So this is where I'm procrastinating. I'm tapping my finger because I'm like, hang on a minute. Something here is not looking right. So I apologize. My dogs are barking. I believe I might have a delivery. So hopefully Angela jumps up and I've got one of my children home today. This is my solution. She's not sick, by the way. It's just it's a day off. Oh, I'll let you know in the next video why she's got the day off. It's ridiculous. I think it's insane. And not saying it. It's ridiculous. Had to go to I'll tell you now, I had to go to the high school yesterday for Angela to pick her subjects for grade 11 and 12. I'm sorry. We need to stop mollycoddling these children to the point that they can't even make a decision on their own future themselves. We had to go to the high school. I had to have an appointment, set down a certain time, 20 minutes to see a teacher to confirm her subjects, that I'm okay with her subjects for next year. I mean, really? Does the school really need us to go and hold our children's hands to choose subjects? there was parents there that were furious because one dad had driven all the way from Ipswich. If you're an Aussie, you'll know where I'm talking about. I'm Caboolture, he's Ipswich. He had to drive that far home from work for this appointment to hold his son's hand to write down the subjects that they could have simply discussed at home. I just think it's insane. I know some kids would need that, but my daughter definitely does not. She is a straight A student and she did not need me holding her hand to make the decisions for her university entrance. It's just crazy. Crazy. Drove me crackers. Seriously. See? Perfect. Seriously. Oh, it was just nuts. So it was at this point that I thought, yeah, okay. So that top end, that is the diluted brown umber. That's what I've washed across the top. And it's, once I put these down, then I realized it just needs just a little bit of something. Just something extra. And then I'm really happy with this layout. I know I usually do lots of tiz and frizz and all this stuff, but I really like this layout. I'm not sure what it is exactly that I love about it the most, but I did go around the Seriously tags with Vintage Photo Distress Oxide ink. I did do that. I glued down my photo. Then I'm sort of sitting back going, okay, I think I need to do something else. I knew that I was going to do the Vintage Photo border, because we all know I need a border. And that's when it hit me that the top half of this layout needs a little tiny bit, just a little tiny bit of some white. Now, I don't normally do white splatters and all that sort of stuff. You know my aversion to splatters, especially at this point. But I also wanted to see how opaque the Mont liquid acrylic ink is and how white it stays. It is 100% opaque. It is brilliant. I love it. I wish I could buy a giant bottle just of that. It's gorgeous. So there you go, guys. There's the close-up. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you would have done differently. Would you have done the drizzles? Would you have done something else? Would you use stamps? Would you like the tags? Would you just use the Cricut? Would you have... Let me know what you would do differently. I'd love to hear from you. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I'd love to have you jump on board. It helps the algorithm to send out my channel to other people looking for scrapbooking inspiration. And don't forget Facebook and Instagram in the description below. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye for now.